Welcome back to Slacker Gaming and welcome back to another episode. And in this episode, I want to go over the team affinities and how we get them quick and how we beat showdowns. And that's going to be basically the main point, is I want to give you a tutorial, or at least show you how to beat the team affinity and how to beat the showdown that is available in season 1. Not sure if it will continue throughout the season or whatever, but season 1 team affinity. So when I went over the video of the 42 series cards, I had a lot of questions about how team affinity works and how to beat it. So I want to kind of give you some tips on going through it and beating it. So now that we are in the team affinity screen, all of these teams and every single player has a 42 series card. Now, to get that 42 series card, you have to complete the team affinity programs. As you can see, some I've done more, some I've done less. Now, let's look at the AL Central so that I can explain to you kind of what goes on here. So, anytime you do any of these tasks, collections, moments, the conquest, March to October, the collections, exchanges, which is where I'm going to talk about the repeatable showdown voucher, which is kind of the, I wouldn't say quickest way, but the cheapest, most affordable way of getting through here and getting these knocked out. You can do moments, you can do missions here. There's a bunch of missions you can do, and when you get those done, you're going to get the TA points. So you see the TA, team affinity points, up in the left hand corner. So I've earned 96 points. I believe it's out of 150 total points. And the reason I want to bring up the showdown is because if you go to exchanges here, go to the bottom, it is repeatable. Now that means that if you beat an affinity, or if you beat a showdown, you get 5 tickets, and then each time you want to do a voucher, you claim 1 voucher. So you're given 5 once you beat it, you claim 1, you get 3 team affinity points, and then you can redeem it again. So basically, every time you beat showdown, you're given 15 team affinity points. And what that means is when you go up to the team affinity points here, so if you have 3 team affinity points, you're getting stadiums. If you get 5, you're getting this, and so on and so forth. So the first time you beat showdown, you will get the stadiums, the unlockables for the AL Central, this won't pack, and then you're getting the uniforms, because that equals 15 team affinity. So asking, well, how do you get the 42 series cards? If you go down here, I believe it's every 60 team affinity points, you will be given the 42 choice. And this is different for every division. So if there's a player you want in a certain division, you need to make sure that you're going through that division. And you can go here to see before who they are, everything. Go to each division, go to 60 team affinities, click on this, and it will show you the ones you're going to be choosing from. So once I get to 60 team affinity points, boom, here we are, and look, these are the players I get to choose from. Now you might be asking, well, if I do just showdown mode and do the vouchers, how many times do I have to do it? And if my math is correct, which it is, you have to do it 4 times. You have to beat showdown 4 times, which means you get 5, 10, 15, 20 tickets. The 20 tickets are worth 3 team affinity. So when you come in here, you'll have like 20 or how many ever you have, and you exchange them right there, and then that gives you the 3 team affinity points, and then so that will give you 60 total team affinity, and that will get you to the first choice. Now if you want to do all of them, you go down here. It looks like 90, so the next one only takes 2 more showdowns, and then it looks like 110, so the next one only takes another 2 showdowns, 3 showdowns to get through there. So I guess it doesn't necessarily take you every single time. It's actually going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper as you go. So the first time it's going to be 4 showdowns beating, and then after that you're going to need another 20 team affinity points. So that's twice on the showdown, because that's going to, and that'll give you even extra team affinity towards the next team affinity. And that's what you're going to do. If you want to go through here and just do all showdown to get all of these packs, feel free to do that. It is kind of time consuming, and that's why I'm going to go over how Team Affinity works and how to beat it. So first of all, it's under the single player modes here. You're going to go to Showdown. Going to go to Team Affinity Season 1 Showdown. Click A. Entry fees 500. So if you have 0, you can't do it. I believe the first entry is free. I'm not sure about that, but start draft here. Enter draft, and this is where you are going to select your players. And this is where in my other videos I said, if you want to use them, use all these guys, like mix and match. Yeah, use them. Try to use their power. Try to use their contact. Get used to using these cards, and then decide what cards you want from that. And that's kind of how I decided what cards I wanted to use, because this Tim Anderson card's a really good card. I just can't get his swing down. And so for me, Salvador Perez, which isn't a great card, but I needed a catcher, and he was the guy to go, and I was raking with him, so I picked him. So we pick him here. Goes on our team on the right side. You're going to get another pick. Again, I would suggest someone that you haven't used or you want to use. If you get like a left fielder in the first round, I wouldn't suggest getting another left fielder. So kind of mix and match your team that way. Let's go with Yamstrinsky. And then you're going to get a pitcher card, and this is where I would say it's important, but this is where you kind of want to like pay attention, because you only get to pick one of these starting pitchers throughout the whole thing. So you want to kind of go through here and decide and use them all and decide who you like the best and if you would like for them to be on your team. For me, it was easily Sixto Sanchez. The dude just absolutely is amazing. And then we're going to go through and draft the rest of our team. So my suggestion would be to get a good closer, because there are several events where you will need to have a good closer. You want your good starter, which we already have in the rotation, Sixto's there, and then the rest you want to fill up your team and try to fill in every spot. Now, after this initial draft, we're going to find out who we're going to be playing for the boss, and that will also be another thing as what we want to pay attention to. So let's go ahead, look at these cards, try to see what you would like. If you want to use these cards, who you would like. I'm going to pick Herrera just because I know he's a closer and he's going to be the guy that gets us closed out of games. I also know Joey Gallo rakes. Another thing when going through here, try to get as much parity as you can as far as lefty and righty batters, because that's going to be very important in the boss showdown, because if you face a righty and you have all righty batters, you're going to be at a disadvantage. So it is smart to try to keep righty lefty. I'm not saying like if you get Gallo or a 72, and the 72 is a right-handed, pick the 72. I'm not saying that. Pick who you think is best, but keep in mind that you want to try to keep your lineup lefty righty type of thing. This is where you're going to select your items to help you. There's several that I would suggest through here. Clear for takeoff is a great one. Lead off magic is another great one. Just read down below what they say and how they would be helpful to you. This one, the X velocity, is boosted on normal swings on the first 2 pitches of an at-bat. So the first 2 pitches of a bat, you're going to normal swing, you're going to get that X velocity boost. So you're going to hit more home runs with this than you will with other ones. I also want to suggest, it's up to you. I do not suggest doing any pitching or anything. So what I mean by pitching is this hot spot increases pitch accuracy while losing. That doesn't really matter. I would not suggest it. I would suggest picking something that's going to help you hit and clear for takeoff. Lead off magic both do that. So after you do that, you will need to manage your squad and you will need to manage your perks. So let's go to perks first. We're going to add all of our perks over here. You have to make sure you equip them. If you do not equip them, you do not get them. And we will go, and as you go through, you'll get more and more perks, and you'll switch perks out and everything like that. And then we're going to go to our managed squad. Now, we only drafted so many players. The other players were just kind of thrown in on our team for us. So keep that in mind when looking at your team. Just know that some of these players you didn't even draft. My suggestion would be, when you start off a game, you're using your top people in your lineup first. This is not always the case, but almost, I would say 98% of the time, you're going to start with your leadoff guy. So you want to use someone that you feel like you can hit well with, and that is going to be beneficial of having them there. And that is going to be our lineup. Also, remember, you do have guys down here as well on your bench that you can move up, move down. And then if you wanted to move out of here, so when we go through and you get cards, you can click A here and you can click better cards depending on who you pick up and stuff, and then you can move them into your lineup. And this is what I want to explain to people and how to do stuff. So you're gonna go through these, and I would suggest going through these unless you're just really good. And if you're like really good, you're probably not even watching this video, you're gonna skip to the end and just play down 12 runs. But I would not suggest that. If you're watching this video, I would not suggest that. So the first one is going to be, these are going to be different every time, by the way. So you're not always going to get the same exact one, but you get primarily the same ones over and over again, except there's probably like 15 or 20 they have on rotation. So it's not like this is always your first one, this is always your second one. They're always different, but they are stuff that you've done before if you keep doing them over and over again. So the first one is broke onto the scene 2020, win the NL Gold Glove Award and blasting 10 home runs. Playing against the Padres with your showdown squad, tally 4 total bases without giving up 2 runs in 2 innings. So that tells us that we need to get 4 total bases before 2 innings. And if we have to pitch, and while we're pitching, we cannot give up 2 runs. If we either go past 2 innings or give up 2 runs, we lose the showdown and we don't get the runs towards the final showdown. Now, you notice on this says Golden Boy, it tells you the difficulty, which is helpful. So if you're like veteran, as it kind of goes on, you go to All-Star and so on and so forth, and you see the 2 final showdown runs. If we are victorious in this, if we get the 4 total bases, we will get the 2 showdown runs. We will get a gold live series hitter and a gold perk. We also get 100 stubs. And on the left side where it says final showdown, 15 outs remaining, it will turn for the A's, it'll go 2 to 12, which means if we then skip to the end, we are down 2 to 12, which we're not skipping to the end. And the whole point of playing these throughout is to eventually get to the end and say you get them all and the score is 12 to 12. Then when you play the final boss, you only have to get 1 run to beat them. Earlier when I was saying that this is important to know this, we are playing the A's, and the A's is the final boss. And that tells us that the A's pitcher is going to be our final boss. And I believe the A's pitcher is a left-handed pitcher. Now, that screen where we selected the 4, you also need to pay attention there to know like what pitchers are righty, lefty. So if we were playing the Miami Marlins, we would know it's Sixto Sanchez and he's a right-handed thrower. So we would more or less want lefties in our lineup building up to it rather than loading our thing with righties. Now, the A's guy, I think it's Luzardo, I believe, is a lefty. So we kind of want to build our roster, our squad, when we win games throughout here and get people. We want to put more righties into our squad or switch hitters than lefties. So let's just jump into this and I'll show you kind of what to do and how to beat it. And then once we beat it, we'll come back out here and I'll show you what happened. And Salvi the GOAT ending it with a dinger. That's going to be 4 bases and more. We got the leadoff from Tripsky on, and then Salvador hit the home run, so we got a success. We got the 4 total bases. We did not give up 2 runs, and we did not make 6 outs. So confirm the exit over there, and right here, boom, success. Now look in the bottom left. You saw that add 2 runs to the left side, and that's what we're doing. And then boom, it said before we get the golden guy, or we get the golden card, and we get the golden item. So let's pick a golden person. Again, now we know that the pitcher that we're gonna face in the end is a left-handed pitcher. So we want to kind of teeter on right-handed hitter. And then we're gonna pick these as well. I don't really see any that I really like. Down but not out is okay. Manage perks, down but not out. We're going to take off the base commander one. So you can only have 3 of these equipped at a time. And then we're going to go over to manage squad. We're going to go down to the bench here. And then just pick whoever you don't want to use. We're just going to pick this guy because he's the lowest card available. Press A or X if you're on PlayStation. Then go to Luis Robert because we just got him on our team. And now he is on the bench. Now we could click X or I believe it's square on the on the PlayStation controller, and you're gonna move him to center field there. And then over here, you will have to make sure that you move or adjust him in the lineup wherever you need him. Pop out of here, and we are on to the next one. All right, we have skipped through. We've won the first 3, as I said. So the score is 6-12 right now. Then you're gonna get to the showdown, and this is the first big obstacle that you're going to play against. Now, it is on rookie, so it is on the easiest difficulty right now. And you're going to basically take on Garrett Cole. You're going to enter the game with 1 runner on and fight your way back from a 2-run deficit before recording 10 outs. So we need to get 2 runs, or we need to get 3 runs and beat them because they already have 2. We need to get 3 runs to beat them without recording 10 outs. And if we do that, we get another 42 series hitter and a diamond perk. And that is exactly what we need moving forward. So let's jump into this. And I also want to know that if you don't beat this, you lose the showdown. You have to start all over. The other ones you can lose and fail, and you don't start over at the beginning. But if you do lose this showdown here or the final showdown down here, then you don't win and you still have to start all over again. So let's jump into this and get this one started. So another thing to know when you're in this showdown game and then the very last showdown game, you see in the bottom right, it says 10 outs remaining. And what that means is you literally have 10 outs remaining. So you don't have to, like, so we have a guy on first, right? We fly out, we'll have 9 outs remaining. You don't ever like restart the inning. So you could have a guy on first and end up getting 5 or 6 outs in a row, and your guy is still going to be on first because you basically don't have an inning. You have an inning to get 10 runs or 10 outs. So when you're doing that, keep that in mind. Don't, like, if you hit a fly out and then hit another fly out and then hit another fly out, you just send your guy running. No, like, you have this whole 10 outs to get 3 runs. So keep that in mind. I know it's something that's a little confusing, but that's only in the showdowns as well. It's not on the regular ones. The regular ones follow the normal, I guess, innings. So keep that in mind when doing this, that might change. Again, you have to beat this one in order to keep moving on. Otherwise, you have to start over new. So if you're having struggle beating this one, feel free to go over and watch my hitting tutorial tips. And I just hit 2 dingers back to back. Go over and watch my hitting tutorial. It'll kind of show you what I do to try to hit and what I think works best and all the options you have and how to look for pitches and stuff like that. Go over and watch that video if you're struggling to finish these showdowns. Success. Now we're ready to get our 42 series hitter and the diamond perk. Notice we didn't add 2 runs. It's still 6 out of 12. But basically, it's kind of like a mini boss. You have to beat that boss to get to the last boss. So now that we're in here, we have another chance at a person. We're going to grab Max Muncy because I absolutely rake with him. And now we get the diamond items. And these diamond items are even better than the silver and the gold. So the red ones, you have to beat in order to move on. The blue ones, you can fail and still move on to the next one. You just won't get what's down below, the 2 final showdown runs, a gold hitter and a diamond perk. And as you go, these get better. So the last 2, you get a hitter and a diamond perk, a diamond hitter, a diamond perk. So keep that in mind when you're going through these. The blue ones you do not have to beat. So if you don't beat one, it's okay. Just move on. The red ones you do have to beat to keep going. All right, we have gotten all the way through. We've won every single one. So the score is 12-12. So we go into this final against Luzardo. I think he's a lefty. So we're going in with a squad full of righties, as many righties as we could get to beat the showdown. If we would have skipped, we would have had to got 13. If you lose a few throughout here, you might have to get like 6 or 7, and all of that you have to get without getting 15 outs. So my suggestion, especially starting out, go through here and do what you can. And the reason why I say that is you could be good enough to skip to the end and do it, just you will not have very good players. You will have what you drafted. And we're going to go into the showdown, and so you guys can see what exactly it is. Again, you have 15 outs to make whatever runs you need to make to beat the team that you're playing. So in this case, it's Oakland. In this case, it's Luzardo is the boss pitcher. There he is, a lefty coming in to face you. You got to get 1 run on him, basically. Well, I have to get 1 run on him because I made the score 12-12 because I was able to beat all of the things coming up till then. But just keep that in mind. Again, same things occur with the other red one. Like you don't lose like an inning or anything, so just keep battling, just keep fighting until you can win it. Again, if you struggle, go on over to my hitting tips video, and I'm sure that will help you guys figure out kind of how to hit and how to be better at hitting. And there we go. We beat it. We finished it off. We were a success. We took the lead before making the out, and now we get the 5-team Affinity. There they are, the 5-team Affinity vouchers. So we get 5 of them, and that's gonna help us unlock the 42 card series cards that we want. Once you're done, like with the thing, it's over. It shows you kind of how other people are faring with what you're doing. And now that we won it, we go down here where I showed you earlier, go to Team Affinity, go choose whoever you want to be, like whoever you want to choose. I think I'm going to choose Max Muncy right now and try him out because I've been scalding the ball with him. So you go down to exchanges, go to the SHOWDOWN voucher, you hit this, you see up there in the top left we have 5 of them. We're going to do 1, start, 1 exchange, yes, boom, we got 3 more points. We have 42 points earned, or 42 Team Affinity points. So we're gonna do 1 more, do that, exchange it, and now we're up to 45. And we're gonna just keep doing that until we get where we want to go. That is how you go about in beating in Team Affinity, how you get Team Affinity points to be able to get those 42 series cards. And if you have any questions, comment them down below. I know I had a lot of comments on the last video, and that's why I wanted to make this video to explain to you how to beat Team Affinity and SHOWDOWN itself. But if you have any additional questions, comment those down below. I would love to be able to help you guys out. Until next time, Slacker out.